Hey guys, how are you? It is Darla with Stampin' with Chaos, and I am pre-recording a video for Friday. I wanted to use one of the new in colors on this card because all the in color products are on sale through the end of the month. So 15% off. So you want to hop on there and get those. The color I chose to use is the cloud cover. So I'm just going to hop in and do this video and get it over and done with. So I'm going to go ahead and put you down. I took a sheet of our cloud cover cardstock, and it's just going to be kind of a basic card, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, just like our little normal. Then I took a piece of our basic white, and I ran it through our embossing folder that is our corrugated. So it's called the mini corrugated embossing folder. I love, love, love this folder. I actually did 2 of them because you know me, I like to dauber, or I like to blend, or I like to make different colors. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this corrugated. My ink pad is a newer ink pad, and so it is very moist. And so when I did it with the striped way, I actually thought it put too much on. So I went ahead and I used my blending brush. First of all, I'm going to tell you, remember that our pads are not for sale on the cloud cover. You can get the small pad and you can buy the actual ink refill. But for some reason, the ink and the pad are not blending. They're not meshing. So they only let the demonstrators go in and buy these. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do, and I've done this before with other ones, but I'm going to take this and I'm just going to streak it. But you got to be kind of careful because in some spots it may get too dark. And like I said, this is a new pad. And so that's how it showed up. That's what it's going to look like if you do it that way. And then look at your pad. But what I ended up doing, and I want to show you the difference, is I ended up using our blending brush. And I love, love, love this. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on here and you're just going to take your blending brush, and you want the bumpy side up on the corrugated, and you're just going to go across it. I loved how this turned out because it was more light. It was lighter. Where this is, look at the difference. This is blended and this looks like, yeah, streaked. I don't know. But I wanted to kind of show you the difference of how it did. If you don't have any blending brushes, you could always use daubers too. But we're just going to do it this way. And really the only part of this you're going to see is probably the outer edges and maybe 1/4 of an inch in. So if you get it too dark in the middle, it's not really going to matter. And if you don't even want to put any in the middle, it's not going to matter because you're not going to see it anyway. So, okay. So I don't even remember if I told you the size. This will all be put into the notes, but it was 5 1/4 by 4. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to adhere that down. Now remember, on your cards, you check them. If it opens easy, that's the front. If it opens hard, that's the back. And on the corrugated, because it's so bumpy, sometimes I've noticed that people use the glue. I still use the adhesive, but make sure you get your edges. Okay. Honestly, my card looks a little folded card. Okay. There we go. Okie dokie. Oh. I'm just going to run my there over the top of it. Okay. Then the next thing I did is I took our cloud cover again. See how this is bubbled? You want to make sure you get your edges down. I might have to put some more on there. I took the cloud cover and I used our texture note stamp or dies, the texture note dies. I went in what, 4 and 5, 3 and 4. So the fourth one is going to be the white. I used it and I cut out a piece of white like this, which we are going to stamp on. But the third one I used on our cloud cover. But I wanted to show you, I've been having a little bit of issues with my, because they're sticking in there so good. So I wanted to show you a little tip that I figured out. If you just kind of go under it, and you need to go gently, if you just go under this, it will pop out. I don't know if it's because I've used it so much and so now it's bending a little. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but man, the last couple times I've used these dies, I've had a hard time getting them out. But if you just kind of run it under and do it easy, it should pop right out. It should being the alternate word. And I don't know if anybody has any tips or tricks for me, let me know. But I just noticed the last couple times when I started using this, it started doing that. I almost wondered if it was warped. Uh-oh. Now it's going to tick me off, because it didn't pop all out. I'm going to have to redo it. Dang nabbit. Okay, let me cut one out real quick. Oh, look, I have another one over here. And it did the... Let me cut one out real quick. And like I said, I think it might be a little warped, and that's why it's kind of struggling. The last time I did it, it went right under. So I'm not sure why it's throwing a fit right now. It's throwing a fit because I'm live, or I'm recording, and I don't want to restart this video. That's why it's throwing a fit. And if it was live, I'd have to keep on going. So we're just going to keep on going. So let's try this again. I'm going to take it and just kind of slide it under there and pop it out. But be very, very gentle. Man, it's not. There, maybe if I run my... Just be really careful. There we go. Just kind of pull it back. That's working better with my fingernail kind of under it. Now maybe I can get under. There we go. Sometimes with these intricate ones, you got to go a little bit slower. You can't just be the speed demon all the time like I am. I have no patience. There we go. It's that one spot again. Okay, I'm going to hold my breath. Okay, there we go. I got it out. Okay, so just take your time when you're doing that, if yours happens to get like that. Okay, so this is actually going to go on top of here. We are going to take, what stamp set am I using? I am using our You Are Remarkable stamp set. This one right here, and it's a two-step stamp. So we are going to stamp our first color in black, our Memento Black, and I'm going to do the whole flower. Use my mat here. Maybe. Okay, we're going to stamp that. Make sure I got the right side. Okay. There we go. So we've got it outlined in black. I just did it in the cloud cover instead of the black. Oh well, it worked. It worked just fine. Okay. Then we're going to take the second stamp, and we're going to do the top in the cloud cover. So this is a two-step stamp. You got your base, and then you're going to come across the top. I'm going to see if I can blend. And then we're going to use it. So we're going to come on here. And this is a light color, so I am not going to stamp off. And you want to find your point of what works for you. So like find 2 or 3 points to match up. So when you two-step stamp. So I'm going to match this one. I'm going to match the middle hole, the circle, and I'm going to try to match one over here and one at the top. And if you can get those 4 to match, you're going to be right on target. Okay. And that's called two-step stamping. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to take, I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow Green. I'm going to put this away because we're going to use it again. And we're going to do the same thing with the leaves. We're going to two-step stamp. So I've got the leaves here, and I think I'm going to stamp off. So we're going to go ahead and stamp. I'm going to stamp off. Let me see how dark it is. Yeah, I think I am. Hopefully. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to match up 4 spots the best that we can. You know, I do everything cockeyed, so I'm not straight. So I'm going to do this point up here, this point over here, this point there, and the bottom. So I've got 1 point there, the other point here, then this corner over here, and then this bottom. And if you can get those 4 matched up, you should be pretty stinking close to perfect. How's that? I love the, I don't know, mystique. It's kind of mystique. Is that a word? Mystique. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we are finished with the stamping. We are going to adhere it to, oh wait, there's one more step. Sorry about that. I'm going to add a little bit more of the cloud cover ink just to the in the white, so it's not quite as white. You can, and you don't have to if you don't want to, or you know, it's your card, you do what you want, right? So, you know, I've told you before, I don't like white. So I think that looks pretty. Then we're going to go ahead and adhere it down. Watching the clock. Paul is working super duper late hours this last couple of weeks, and so I'm going to run over and pick him up some dinner and meet him so I can visit with him, because our schedules have been totally wonky and we haven't seen each other in several nights. So okay, we're gonna go ahead and do this, and if my alarm goes off in the middle of this video, I'm really sorry. I thought I would be done. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna put that down. We're gonna open up the inside and we're gonna do a little bit of blending on it. This is where we're gonna write stamp our sentiment. I'm gonna take the head of the flower and I'm gonna put stamp off, and I'm gonna put it down here. Okay, and I only want just part of the head, so I just want a little bit of that. And then I'm going to use this thank you stamp that is out of, can't remember which stamp set it was, the bottom. Heal Your Heart. I've used this quite a bit. I love the font on this. Okay. And we are done. We're going to adhere this to the bottom. And there you go. There you have it. Oh, I am going to add a couple doodads to the top. No, I'm crooked. I'm going too fast because my alarm on my phone's going to start going off. Okay, there we go. And the doodads is also the 2027 in color. Like I said, these are on sale right now. Get over and get some, get your 15% off on your in color colors. There you go. There we are. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day and have a great rest of your weekend. And we will be talking to you soon. This is Darla with Stamp with Chaos.